Welcome to Indianapolis, where Antonio Ponte is on pole from Dominic Vancelao and Matheus Antonio after a crazy qualifying session. Lam Fong is fourth from Zenzo and Kazuki Sims. Then it's Kimi Nyla, Devin Butler, Bronan Animates, and Guillermo Perez throughout the top 10. The champion, Chris Cornwell, is 11th from Matthew Hart and Davi Carrera. Akari Lopez starts 14th from Vita Alves and Ray Shen. Ica World is 17th from Ahmed Cilia and Dominic Hudson down in 19th. Then it's Ray Franca, Francis Austin, Danny Ortega, Mario Kloske, and Christian Bentley. The 15th and final round of this amazing ChampCar World Series takes us to Indianapolis. All 5 lights go on. And we are underway in Indy. It's a great getaway there for Antonio Ponte, starting on pole for the first time in his ChampCar career, and he holds the lead coming through turn 2. Antonio versus Vancelao as they barrel down into the second sector, and in fact, it's Matheus Antonio in the 89. 3 laps down last time out. He will move up and take the race lead in the final race of the championship, and sliding off the track for Devin Butler and Antonio Ponte. That's Guillermo Perez, who drops down to the back of the pack. Antonio Ponte still running up in second. A disaster of a start for Dominic Vancelao as he drops down to 4th, coming through the monument. But out in front, great getaway and a great start for Matheus Antonio, who leads for KV Racing Technology. Up here in the booth with me, I've got Casanova Cornwell and Chaos Andale, as it was in qualifying. That was quite the opening skirmish there. Butler's now got a messed up front wing. Tell us how that can affect his race as we watch Ica fighting over 13th place.
Honestly, if I had to say something about damaged front wings in this series, with what could happen in ChampCar, Formula E, basically any ERL series, I don't think a front wing can actually impact someone's race too much. If it's in the early laps, people are still going to be pitting. So chances are you're still going to be able to keep up with the field. Hell, in Devin Butler's case, he's not going to be able to fight for the win. But if you damage front wing on like opening 2 laps, if you're out front of the field,
I'm going to need you to hold up there, because Ponte has just taken the race lead from Matheus Antonio there in that 89. And we got yellows down in sector 2. It's Dominic Vancelao and Senzo.
Oh!
Senzo and Vancelao, both with major damage to their wings. You were just saying about how much a dented front wing doesn't really impact their race. When it's this much damage to the wing, it really does. You get way less downforce to the car.
Yeah, in these cases, it does impact your race.
Yeah, and he's forced quite wide there in that 91. Ponte with the fastest second sector. That Penske car, the fastest we've seen it all season long. Chris Cornwell, the champion, of course. He's made his way up from 11th on the grid, now up into 8th. He's still got quite the mountain to climb if he wants another podium to add to his magnificent season. Vancelao and Sims beating and banging and roughing him up side by side between the 11 and the 98. Into the pits there, as we've got yellows. That's Hudson, is it? Hudson and Austin, both with front wing damage. It's a new track in the ERL, which explains it, but we've got more yellows, and it's the 2 Trackhouse drivers. Franca, Kloike, Cilia has had an off of his own in the opening sector with Francis Austin. The guys near the back of the pack having a very scruffy afternoon here in Indy. Look at that top 4, though. Look at the top 4. We're on board with Kimi Nyla, getting very up close and personal with Antonio's rear wheel there. He's going to move up to 2nd place, does Kimi Nyla. Honestly, that Forsyth car is the only track that it's the only car that you really expect to be in that fight for the win, and it's with the rookie. Antonio's heading off, and that's with Sims. Sims and Antonio both off into the wall, backing themselves up into the pack. Cornwell moves up into 5th place.
What has Cornwell been on in these opening laps?
I'll tell you what he's on. He's on the championship juice in that Hyperdrive Advanced car. Kimi Nyla looking for the pass on Antonio again. And guys, tell me, what do we expect in terms of the strategy as we've got more yellows down in the third sector and the opening as well? Ponte's in the wall. Antonio takes the lead. Caution comes out, and it's Vancelau and Hudson who have both been involved in that incident. In fact, we've got a pile up, and that's Fighter Alves at the head of it. No, that's Sims, is it? What is with the order? Sims is out of the race. Oh, it's bigger than we thought. Oh, that's most, if not all, of the pack involved in that.
Damn it.
In these caution periods, we often get a lot of pile-ups, but nothing like what we've just seen here in Indy. A lot of the pack now over a pit stop behind. And that's an overtake under yellow for Ray Shen as he now dives down into the pits. I don't think he can do that, guys. A lot of cars now coming down into the pits to repair damage as well.
I think this is what you would expect this is what you'd expect in terms of strategy. I think those softs can't last too long. You can expect them to last 3 or 4 laps.
It's a good thing that we're talking about the softs, because that's what Nyla and Ponte are both on. They're getting close to each other, rubbing the rear wheels. Can they keep it clean? Nyla on the outside is forced close to the wall, but somehow keeps it out of the barriers. And Antonio Ponte with his front wing already being... His front wing already banged up. Austin getting a tie, but Alves is upside down and out of the race.
It was only a matter of time before something like that happened.
Yeah,
that was such a big flip over or spider. It's
went 2 cars in the air effectively. And caution flags are ending then. Cornwell's going to be one of the last men down into the pits after an amazing opening stint. Lam Fong, your race leader in the 73.
They've really been, Cornwell's been kind of, he was one of the people to escape that pile-up, and Chris Cornwell, you wouldn't expect me to say this about the Trackhouse Racing driver, but he's kind of a dark horses. For God's sake, I thought it was still FG Series. The Hyperdrive driver. I don't know. I didn't think I'd ever say this about them, but they're kind of the dark horse of this race. They're kind of blending in, and they're taking opportunities where they can get them.
Absolutely. Danny Ortega comes into the pits, goes on to a set of the hard compound tires. Now, Chaos Andale, these hard compound Firestones. What do you got to say about them? I know you tested them with Trackhouse midway through the season in Spain. So what were your experiences with those tires? Because they're the same that we've got here in Indy.
Those tires, they're like literally what keeps you grounded on the track.
Oh, really?
They're not that fast. Okay, shut up. Okay. They're not that fast, but they're not that hard. They're hard, but they're not that hard. If you know what I mean.
I don't know what you mean by that, but Antonio going alongside with Lam Fong, using attack mode to take the lead of this race once again in that 89 car. Started in the top 3. Came into this race with a point to prove, of course, with finishing 3 laps down last time out in Monaco. It's just not the position that you ever want to be in any race. So, of course, coming back from that, but who's off there? Is that Akari? It is. Front wing damage for the number 10, and he's still yet to stop with 6-lap-old hard compound tires, and the same for Davi Sir Carrera.
Yeah,
in comes Ray Franca.
Limit on these cards.
I mean, going on board of them, 41%. I would say that the limit with the hard compound tires is just don't use them. They're too slow. The mediums look pretty good. Kimi Nyla's putting in some pretty respectable sector times. A lot quicker than what Antonio Ponte's got.
Most of the time near the end of the races, when people would think it'd be ideal to put on softs, I would say it would actually be more ideal to put onto the mediums, because softs are going to die out near the end. Let's say it's like 4 laps from the end. Softs are going to be basically dead by the end. You'd want to put onto the mediums, I think.
Indeed, Lam Fong comes in for his second stop after just 2 laps on the same set of red-walled Firestone tyres. The yellow-walled mediums going on to the 73 as he comes out of the pits. Matthew Hart also down into pit row. Let's see what tyres go on for him. It's another set of softs.
Another set of softs. That's not gonna be good enough. It's not gonna last him until probably the end of the race.
In most case scenarios where you'd go softs, I'd go mediums.
Yeah.
Honestly.
There's not too much of a pace differential between the two compounds now, is there?
Yeah.
So Carrera's still out there with 7-lap-old hard compound tyres. Somehow whispering into those tyres to give him just a little bit more life as Braun animates, getting passed by Lam Fong, trying to fly on that set of mediums. With 6 to go, Matthias Antonio in the number at 89 still leads for KB Racing Technology.
I mean,
really great race for KV and Matthias Antonio at the moment.
Yeah.
Yet people might have forgotten this, but this is Matthias Antonio's rookie season, and
yeah,
to be doing stuff like this, really, you could. It's not like Ash Cornwall levels of a rookie campaign, but it's still a great rookie campaign to be doing stuff like this.
Yeah, that was close to the wall for Kimi Nyler. In fact, on lap 7, the top 3 were all rookie drivers. Antonio, Nyler, and Ponte have never driven in the ChampCar World Series before this season. We've got yellows down in the opening sector. That's for the championship leader and the series champion, in fact. Chris Cornwell on his third lap on the same set. On his third lap on the same set of soft compound tyres has hit the outside wall of turn 2 and now has front wing damage. And for the guy who made its way out of the early carnage, looks like he was about to start a little bit of his own chaos. So, Mr. Andley, any words on that? You seem to know a lot about chaos.
I do know. Yeah, I do know a lot about chaos, if you know what I mean. Now, I don't know what he's gonna do there, but I know for sure if he pits for those mediums, if he does pit for those mediums on hards, then that's the probably race over or race.
He can get to the end with those. He can get to the end with those tires. Paris has been in an incident with Devin Butler, the Spaniard spinning across the track. The 71 then trying to get back onto the road.
Charles.
And Lam Fong also getting involved in his own incident. That's what Antonio done in pit lane. It's a full course yellow, but not officially.
How are you crashing?
Lam Fong and Matthias Antonio have collided. Full course yellows are out, and that's down in the pits.
Charles.
Cornwall tries to come in, and he will. Lam Fong also comes down into the pits. This is some wild activity down in pit lane. This is a perfect time for Cornwall to get onto another set of tires, but it's softs going on. They are not thinking about the long game down at Advanced Hyperdrive then. You'll maintain 5th.
Earlier, I was going to say something about the timing of Chris Cornwall getting their front wing damage, because, of course, he spent 3 laps on those softs. It was pretty near the end of his stint anyway.
So yeah, Sir Carrera getting past Iker as well there. And you know, Iker World hasn't actually had the best of seasons. Like, you probably had a few words with Chris now, haven't you, Casanova, about the Angolan driver. Tell us what you think about him. As that's into the wall for Bentley in the 32, so we're going to have to hold off on that. The 32 with front wing damage. As we look to Matthew Hart, running up in 3rd for Forsyth Racing.
I think Matthew Hart, I know this isn't what he was, but I think Matthew Hart, he's really been unlucky to be...
We got yellows in the second sector. I think Hudson's in it. Is he? Yeah, he spun it with Francis Austin. But that's all that the yellows were there for. Matthew Hart now leads, but he goes into the wall in that 21 car. with 3 to the checkered flag. Unbelievable scenes with 3 to go.
Please, I had
And
trouble
Brondon!
hearing,
Yikes there for Brondon. 6-lap old hard compound tires for him as Ica comes down into the pits. Hart still with that damage, drops behind Ponte, who leads. This is something else, truly.
wait, who's the Angolan driver again? I forgot.
Ica World, mate. The 77 of Kimi Nyla getting past his teammate and sliding! Oh, the 2 full-sides collide! And drop behind Chris Cornwell! The 77
Chris Cornwell, what the hell?
getting tagged by the 21. Cornwell somehow benefiting tremendously by the timing of that caution, because now he's alongside with Brondon Animates. He can take a podium from 11th on the grid. They touch! And up into 2nd place for the series champion. The guy dominates a lot.
This is what you expect from Chris Cornwell. You expect some absolutely like out of this world drives from the series champion.
Indeed. You know, you often see him dominate in these races. You often do. But today we've seen his bark is just as strong as his bite. 2 to go in Indy.
I wasn't.
And we've got
ruled out to win
yellows
here because,
but it's immediately cleared up. That's Danny Ortega. Haven't mentioned the 28 all day, but he's got front wing damage. He's in his 2nd, I believe, full season in the ChampCar World Series. He is in his 2nd, debuted alongside Chris Cornwell. Just gotta wrap my mind around that. The 13 on Austin's helmet, wearing the same as Marcus Nelson has all season. In fact, 8 seconds is the margin out in front, guys.
Wow. 8 seconds.
I think Antonio Ponte. Yeah, I think Antonio Ponte may have sealed this win, but with how this track treats its drivers, I wouldn't rule out Ponte crashing.
Yeah, I think the tire scenario on the final laps is going to be very, very touch and go between Ponte and Cornwell, especially for the 96. He's on his 3rd lap on the same set of soft compound tires. He goes over the curb and he hits the wall again, and yellow's in sector 2 for Ray Shen. What has happened to Shen? It's Ahmed Cilia that we should be worried about there, and he gets hit by Rai Franca, the Trackhouse man, in his 2nd incident of the day, and it's a pile-up, a big pile-up there. Butler, Ortega, all facing the wrong direction. They've got the 2 target Chip Ganassi's coming up to the scene of the crime.
This is what Cornwell wants. If it can call, no. I was gonna say something. If it can cause special safety car, I could pit, but no, he wouldn't do that.
He can't quite come in, especially considering it's the penultimate lap of the race. Right now, for Chris,
he's gonna have to save those tires.
Not only is he going to have to save those tires, he's going to have to manage the gap to both Nyla and Brondon Animates behind. As it stands, I think he's locked in to a top 5 finish here, which I'm sure he's going to be happy to walk away with. But where on the podium, if he does finish on the podium, will he be?
If he does finish on the podium, I would like to predict it would be P3. I don't see it. I don't see him finishing. Oh no! I don't see them finishing on the podium. But
well, there's not too much time left in this race. Ponte, your race leader, slamming it into the opening corner's wall. 23% for Chris Cornwell. Guys, do we think he's gonna make it?
If he runs it, oh yeah, most drivers run it to 0. I do think Chris Cornwell can make this.
Well, he keeps it out of the wall, which is a good sign. Brondon Animates has caught up to this pack, right behind the series champion. Nyla also with front wing damage, and considering the age of Brondon's tires, he's got the best of them all. The 77 to 2nd place, though. Cornwell doing what he can to hold on to the podium, but for the 88, he wants it more than anyone else. His teammate, Ica World, off into the wall. Almost tapped by Akari Lopez there. But for Antonio Ponte, as he gets held up by Dominic Hudson. More yellows in the opening sector. It's for Ray Shen again. Ponte is going to convert his first career pole position to victory, as it's 0% for the 31. Full car puncture already a lap down, and it's Christian Bentley in the wall again. Coming through the final two corners for Team Penske, as they're piling up down in the opening corner. Antonio Ponte is a race winner in the ERL.
Incredible win for Ponte. Incredible win for Ponte. But what is his podium going to look like?
Well, Nyla's got Brandon Animates before they even made it through the final corner. The Conquest man tries, but he can't quite get past. It's third for for Brandon Animates, sorry. Second for Kimi Nyla. Hart fourth, with Cornwell just about making it to the checkered flag in fifth. What a monster fight back there. You know, he was in the...
Congratulations, Ponte. Just pure... That was just pure ChampCar. That's the ERL for you.
For the second...
And I do
for the second race in a row, the man who started this race on pole will make it to the checkered flag in first, and over 10 seconds in front of the man in second. Cloquet banging wheels with Cilia there. And he will take 12th by the time they come through the final few corners.
And with that is going to be ChampCar Season 7 coming.
That is ChampCar Season 7 in the books effectively, as they all now come across the line with Ortega, the last man on the lead lap. Here's your podium. Antonio Ponte taking the race win from Kimi Nyla and Brandon Animates. All rookies on the top three steps, and honestly, it's the three best rookies. This has been quite the race and quite the broadcast. It's been very nice to have some drivers alongside me in the booth. Casanova.
I think...
What do we think?
I think, yeah, great race. But also, what I wanted to do before we end this, when we end this broadcast and we end this season, I wanted to recap, do a very good, quick 2-minute recap or something over what's happened this season, storylines.
Absolutely. As for the full classification of today's Indianapolis Grand Prix, Antonio Ponte taking victory, his first win in ChampCar at the very last round of the season from Forsyth Racing's Kimi Nyla and Brandon Animates. Matthew Hart scooped in a 4th place on that final lap, getting past an ailing Chris Cornwell. His tyres and his front wing not very happy with the series champion. Davy Circulera 6th from Ica World and Akari Lopez. Then it's Zenzo, Ray Shen, and Christian Bentley, your top 11. And Bentley somehow coming from 24th on the grid to 11th. No points, but surely that has to be one of the better fight backs through the field that we've seen.
That was
great race.
Great
great broadcast to have you two with me, and I think I quickly want to as I said, I do quickly want to
there's still another 13 guys to get through on the official classification, and of course the constructors. We forgot the structure of this, guys. I'm sorry. Cloquet 12 from Cilia and Butler. Guillermo Perez down in 15th. It was a very scruffy race for Target Chip Ganassi today. Rai Frank is 16th from Francis Austin and Danny Ortega. Dominic Hudson being the last of the finishers, with the non-finishers being as follows: Lam Fong, Matthias Antonio, Vita Alves, Kazuki Sims, and Dominic Van Salau. So, the official Drivers' Championship at the end of the season. And it's quite the championship order to have. Chris Cornwell takes home the Season 7 championship, 67 points in front of Matthew Hart. And the crowd goes wild. Kazuki Sims. The Japanese fans are going to be very happy with this. This is the highest up a driver from Japan has finished in any of our ERL's categories since the first IndyCar series. Back in Season 1, Quan Todoroki, the champion, of course, Welsh-Japanese driver. We've got a British-Japanese driver, an English-Japanese driver in 3rd in Season 7. Dominic Hudson.
I think, what was I saying? If it wasn't, if it wasn't for Chris Cornwell just running away with it, we could have seen Kazuki Sims possibly taking his championship.
Yeah, he had a handful of just scruffy races. There was the early phase of the season where that Sims car just wasn't really switched on. So 3rd and 6th in the championship for Sims 888 TGR. Surely they're going to come out of the gate swinging next season in ChampCar, because that's what they're doing in Formula E, and we will get to that in a moment. 4th place, Dominic Hudson in the driver's standings, followed by Kimi Nyla. That 2nd place today, surely helping him rise in the championship standings. Christian Bentley stays 6th from Antonio and Perez. Hamed Celia 9th from Lam Fong and Akari Lopez. Then it's Danny Ortega, Ray Shen, Rai Franca, and Devin Butler, the top 15, followed by Mario Kloske, Bronan Animates, Ica World, and Antonio Ponte. And then it's the Dale Coins of Senzo and Davi Circuera, Francis Austin, Dominic Vansalau, and Vita Alves. Well then, let's take a look. That all-important Constructors' Championship at the end of the season. Nord Hyperdrive. Nord Hyperdrive take home another Constructors' Championship to add to their collection in the ChampCar World Series.
You could argue this just proves, this is like, I know they've only been here for 2 seasons, this is hands down Chris Cornwell's best season ever. He's managed to effectively carry Hyperdrive to this title, with Ica World down in, was it 18th or 19th in the Drivers' Championship. That's a carry his team on his back.
Ica was 18th, yes. That is some insane things to see, and quite the point share. There was quite the conversation between Sanchez and Circuera last season, between potentially Circuera just not being up to par because of how many points he was behind Sanchez by season's end. He was in the 60s zone, Sanchez was in the 180s. Well, Ica World scored 38 points all season, Chris Cornwell 203. I mean, the numbers don't lie, guys. Forsyth Racing 2nd place in the championship.
Honestly.
And in fact, I believe that's their best Constructors finish in their time in the ERL. They will be moving over to IndyCar next season, which is very interesting to see this team move over to the IRL. Sims 888 TGR, the first of the teams that will be staying here in ChampCar for next season, in 3rd, followed by Target Chip Ganassi, Power Motorsport, and Conquest Racing. Outside of the Hundreds Club, you've got Trackhouse in 7th on 90 points. Then it's Team Penske flying up the order with 89, only 1 point down on Trackhouse. KV Racing Technology 9th from Andretti Autosport and Dragon Racing. Dale Coyne 12th on 63 points. Well then, 5 wins on the season for Chris Cornwell, and a new race winner today as well. Guys, any closing words on Season 7 of the ChampCar World Series in the Electric Racing League? We'll start with Casanova.
Honestly, with how Chris Cornwell's handled this season, 5 wins, 4 in a row, absolutely incredible performance. All I can say is I cannot wait to see them in Formula E.
Well, they're already in Formula E, but of course, we now have it confirmed. Chris Cornwell will be running a full season campaign next season, of course, in Formula E with Hyperdrive. He's currently with the Amlin squad, the same Amlin squad that he made his Formula E debut with last season, where he got 2nd in St. Petersburg under the lights.
Very close to winning that, by the way.
Indeed.
Close.
It was just the tire strategy that caught him out and gave you a puff. What is still, to date, the Scotsman's last race win in the ERL.
Can't wait to see Chris in that Hyperdrive Formula E car, but I think the biggest disadvantage they're going to have is that they're going to have all the pressure on them. They're going to have to live up and challenge the 7-time champion of Revo.
Indeed.
Well, probably. Well, I don't know if it's still 6-time, but by the end of the season, it'll probably be 7-time.
Yeah. I mean, the margin out in front for Revo quite big right now, and he is certainly the hottest prospect. Both of them the hottest names in the Electric Racing League, and it has been our pleasure to bring you the final race in the ERL's ChampCar World Series. Thank you guys so much for watching, and it's been very fun to have two drivers in the ERL, two FG Series drivers who are currently looking for seats for next season, of course, with the FG Series collapsing financially. It's going to be a wonder to see how both of them fare in the next season of the ERL. Of course, that means the only category left is Formula E. So we will see you guys next time then for the 15th race in the Formula E World Series.